let me share my screen. So can you all so can you all see my screen? Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is our second class on the Marganasari Jivan, and in our first class we were discussing the 35 virtues of the Marganasari Jivan. So we saw in the first class that this 35 virtues of Marganasari Jivan is described in one of our Shastras, that is called Yog Shastra, and this Yog Shastra is written by Kalikal Sarvagna Hemchandracharya. So in our first class we discussed the first 12 virtues of Marganasari Jivan. I will briefly go over the first 12 virtues. So the first virtue we talked about was Nyay Uparjit Dhan. So in this virtue we talked about that you should earn your living in a moral way, ethical way, and as per the laws of the country. And the second virtue we talked about was Uchit Vivah. Now this is related to marriage, and we talked that you should marry only within your same kul and within the same kulachar. That means you should marry within your same religious and cultural background. And this is very, very important for the sanskar and of your kids, and also continuity of our Jain Dharma. Then the third thing we discussed was the Shistachar Prasansa. That means you have to pay respect to the noble people, the people with all the good virtues like Satya, Daya, Compassion, Shamta, Parokar, and so on and so forth. The fourth gun we discussed was Satruta Tyag. And this was again very important gun, and we saw that one should not have any hatred or enmity or dvesh against a single Jeev in this life. And having a dvesh even with a single Jeev in this life is cause for Ananta Sansar. And we saw in our last class that we have to develop 4 bhavanas, that is Maitri Bhavana, Pramod Bhavana, Karuna Bhavana, and Madhyastha Bhavana, in order to have this fourth gun in your life. The fifth gun we talked about was Indriya Jay. Indriya Jay means 5 Indriyo ka samvar, that is control of your 5 senses. Then 6th and 7th we discussed was regarding the house. Where should you have your house? We saw that you should not have your house where there are lots of natural disasters like earthquake or floods or even plagues, or where there is wars going on. Furthermore, we saw that you should have your house within the Jain community. And this is very important for the Jain sanskars. And we also saw the house should not be too big, it should not be too small, it should not be secluded, or it should not be within a very busy intersection. Then the 8th gun we talked was the Pap Bhay. Now the 8th gun is one of the very important guns, because Pap Bhiruta is one of the lakshans of a Samyak Drashti Jeev. So it says that whenever you are doing a pap in your life, you have to do with repentance. And as soon as you do a pap, you should take alochana of that pap from Guru Maharaj side. So sometimes it's very difficult to stop doing a pap, but you should not do the pap with your enjoyment and with pleasure. You should always have a vedana or repentance in your heart. So this is very important gun of a Samyak Drashti Jeev. Then the 9th gun we discussed was a Desachar Palan. And in this we saw that you have to follow the rules and regulations of the society. And furthermore, we saw that since we come from India, there are lots of Indian values, the Indian culture, Indian traditions, and even Indian food that offers lots of advantages. And you should continue following those guns even while you are in US. Like Namrata, paying respect to your parents, or Dan Dharma, Parokar Dharma are some of the important values of our Indian culture. Then the 10th gun we saw was Lokpriyata. And Lokpriyata, we saw that Shravaks who follow the Jain Dharma, they are usually Lokpriya, because they are always helping others. They are helping others, they are doing Parokar work with a Niswart Bhav, without any self-interest, and they are doing with the Namrata. So that is a 10th virtue of Marganasari Jivan. The 11th gun we saw was Uchit Vyay, and this is also very important, because once you go and earn your living, it says that you have to live within your means. And we saw that the income that you earn should be divided into 4 or 5 buckets, and one bucket is the Dharma Aradhana. And in Shastra, in Yoga Shastra, it is said that minimum 10% of whatever you earn should go back to Dharma Aradhana. And the last 12th one we saw in our last class was Uchit Vyavhar. And this is very important because it talks about right dressing. You should wear right type of dress at right places. So for example, if you are coming to Derasar, you have to wear Uchit and simple dress. The dress will be such that no one else gets vikar in their mind, because you do not want to be the nimit for their asubh bhav. So that is the whole point. So that's where we stopped in our last class. And we'll continue with our 13th gun of Margansari Jivan. And the 13th gun is very, very important. It is paying respect to your parents. So it is our custom of our Arya Sanskruti that you have to pay respect to your parents, that you have to touch their feet every morning. And furthermore, in our Shastra, it is said that you should only eat after parents have eaten first. So this is our Arya Sanskruti, what our Indian culture brings to us. So in our Shastra, it is further said that one can gain eligibility and yogyata for any kind of Dharma Aradhana. So if Guru Vandan or Dev Pujan, even if you go to Derasar, in order to get the eligibility for any Dharma Aradhana, you have to first respect your parents. If you do not respect your parents, then all the other Dharma Aradhana becomes meaningless. So if you see Bhagwan Mahavir, right? Bhagwan Mahavir, jab Mata ke garbh mein the, when he was in Mata's garbh, he stopped the movement, so his Mata does not have any dukh. So there are lots of examples in our Shastra. If you might have heard about an example of a young boy named Shravan. It's a very famous story in our Jain, in our Shastra, and it says that Shravan, उसने अपने कंधों पे उठा के, he carried his parents and took him to 67 Tirth Yatra. So paying respect to Mata Pita is one of the foremost guns of our Arya Sanskruti, and you should touch your feet of parents every morning. So this is 13th gun of Margansari Jivan. So 14th gun of Margansari Jivan is Satsang. So what is Satsang? So if you have learned a sutra known as Mana Jinaram, right? In Mana Jinaram it's a Sajjai, and it talks about 36 kartavyas of Shavak. And in one of the kartavyas of Shavak is Dhammiyana Satsango. It means that you have to always be in contact with a Dharmi Jeev. Furthermore, it is said that you should have one Kalyan Mitra in your life that will give you right advice at the right time. So if you think about Bhagwan Rishabhdev's Jivan, in the fourth bhav, he was deeply engrossed in sansaric pleasures, and he had a Kalyan Mitra in the form of Swayam Buddha minister. He helped him come back to the Dharma Marg. So there are lots of examples where in our Shastra where Kalyan Mitra can help you bring back, if you are in a wrong path, bring back you to the proper path. So you are defined by the type of friends you keep. So even if you are living in a good neighborhood, if you are in contact with say thieves or vyabhichari, hinsak, asatyavadi, nindak and so on and so forth, you will be affected and influenced by them. Similarly, if you are in contact regularly with a dharmi jiva, a person who is going to Derasar, a person who is doing Dharma Aradhana, a person who is doing Tap, Dan Dharma, you will also be motivated to do so. So it's very, very important that you be in contact with the Dharmi Jiva. The 15th gun is Kritagnata, and Kritagnata is again very, very important gun. So what is Kritagnata? Kritagnata is you have to be grateful for someone's smallest upkar in your life. So for example, someone have given you mental or emotional support. Someone might have given you a monetary support. All the teachers, your school teachers, your Pachala teachers who have imparted right knowledge, all the doctors who might have helped you treat the diseases, someone might have given you food, water or medicine. And the most important is Guru and the Kalyan Mitra who has given you right knowledge and given you right advice. So everyone should be respected in your life, or you have to be rather be grateful for their smallest upkar. So in Thanang Sutra, in one of our agams, there are defined 4 types of people. There is a Adama Adam person, there is a Adam person, there is a Uttam person, and there is a Uttama Uttam person. So first is Adama Adam person. So who is the worst type of person is known as Adama Adam. So it says that adama adam person is a person जो he forgets the 100 उपकार्स और उससे अगर एक गलती हो, उसके अगर एक अपराध हो तो उसकी सजा देगा. So that is a adama adam person that forgets the उपकार्स of their friends. The second is अधम person. The अधम person is one जो खराब करने वाले का खराब करता है, उसको अधम कहते हैं. Then उत्तम person is one जो उपकार करने वाले का उपकार करता है. A person who is doing good to you, you will do good to him. That is a उत्तम person. And Shastra says the उत्तम उत्तम person is the one जो खराब करने का वाले का भी उपकार करता है, जैसे भगवान महावीर. So you have to be a उत्तम person. If a person who is doing bad against you, you should also do upkar for them. So that is the 15th gun of Krutagnata. Then 16th and 17th gun is related to the food you eat. So in Shastra it is said that of course you have to eat appropriate food. So first is Ajirna Bhojan. It says that you should only eat after the previous food has been digested. So in the science we have seen that it takes at least 5 to 6 hours to digest the previous food. So you should only eat after the previous food is digested. And furthermore it says that you should only eat when you are hungry. You should not keep eating when you are not hungry. And furthermore you should not eat while you are walking. So that way you can control your indriya and senses when it comes to food. And 17th is Uchit Ahar. That means you have to eat food according to Jain principles. And that is known as Uchit Ahar. So for example, our Jain principle says Ratri Bhojan Tyag, Kanmul Tyag, right, all the roots Tyag, then Abhaksha Tyag, there are 22 type of Abhaksha and 32 type of Kanmul. Then 4 types of Mahavigai Ka Tyag, and keeping away from all the vyasans. Vyasans are those that brings you dependency, like drugs, alcohol, smoking and so on and so forth, that destroys your mind and body. So this all falls under Ajirna Bhojan and Uchithar, the type of food you should eat in your daily life. Then the 18th gun is Jnani Puja. So here it says in Shastra that you should pay respect to a Jnani Jan, a person who is scholar, like Pandits or even Sadhu Maharaj Sahib. So for example, a Jnani Purush or a Jnani Mahatma comes to your home, you have to stand up, you have to pay respect. And then you have to give them a uchit asan or to sit on. So if a Sadhu Maharaj Sahib comes to your home, of course in US it's kind of very difficult, but in India, right, if a Sadhu Maharaj Sahib comes home, you have to give them Supatra Dan. And it includes giving them food, water, medicine or any other necessary things. Now of all the 7 types of Dan, Supatra Dan is considered as the best possible Dan. And Supatra Dan is the easiest way or simplest way to get Samyak Darshan. So if you see Bhagwan Rishabhadev's Jivan Charitra, the first bhav of Bhagwan Rishabhadev when he was a Dhanna Sartva, he gave Supatra Dan to Maharaj Sahib with very Subh bhav and he got Samyak Darshan. So this is the simplest way you can achieve Samyak Darshan, by giving a Supatra Dan to Sadhu Maharaj Sahib. You might have also heard about the story of Shalibhadra. So I'll just give a small introduction about Shalibhadra. So if you know, Shalibhadra was in his previous birth, he was a very poor boy, and he was living with his mother. And in the village, there was a small festival, and lots of people, small kids, had gathered to play. And after playing, all the kids, they started eating kheer. Kheer is like a rice pudding. So this little boy did not have anything with him to eat. So he felt bad and he ran back to his mother. So he asked his mother, can I please have the kheer? Now his mother was very, very poor. She did not have money to make the kheer. But little boy insisted that he wanted to eat the kheer. So mother said that you have to eat whatever is cooked for you. So the little boy starts crying. And of course the mother did not want to see his son cry. So she goes to the neighbor's house and borrows some milk, borrows some sugar and borrows some rice and makes the kheer for the little boy. So she pours the kheer in a dish, and then she goes out to the well to collect the water. So as this little boy was just about to eat kheer, he hears the voice of Dharmala. he sees a Jain Sadhu Bhagwant had come for Gochri. So this little boy, he pours the entire kheer in Sadhu Maharaj Sahib's patra, and after pouring the kheer, he is so happy that he has given the kheer to Sadhu Maharaj Sahib. And at the same time, he also gets Samyak Darshan. So Supatra Dan is so much important and easiest way to get Samyak Darshan. And because of that, he becomes Shalibhadra, the famous Shalibhadra in the next bhav. Now important thing is, because of Supatra Dan, उसने जो कर्म का बंध किया वो पुण्यानुबंधी पुण्य का कर्म का बंध किया. So because of that, Shalibhadra had a very luxurious life. But because of the punyanubandhi punya karma, he didn't have attachment to this luxurious life. He was able to give away all this luxurious life, and he took Diksha under Bhagwan Mahavir. And then he did Anshan for 50, I think it was 56 days. And then he went to Sarvasiddha Viman. So right now he is in the Sarvasiddha Viman. And the next bhav is going to go to Mahavidya Kshetra and is going to go to Moksha. So this, just one simple Supatra Dan with Subh Bhav can lead you to Moksha. So always respect to the Jnani Purush and Jnani Mahatma. The 19th is Nindit Karya Tyag. So it says that you have to renounce all the actions that are objectionable to the eyes of both society and religion. So some of the actions that are objectionable to society are like stealing, lying, or purse-free, lampat, or even like excessive jiv hinsa, betrayal like Vishwasghat, nimda of others, child marriage, and so on and so forth. So those are the actions that are objectionable to the eyes of society. But there are certain actions that are even objectionable to the eyes of religion. Now here you have to understand that being in US, the certain actions are not objectionable to the eyes of society, like hunting. Hunting is very common in US. Even eating meat is very common in US, and so on and so forth. So such actions are objectionable to eyes of our religion, and you should not do it. So furthermore, it is said that all the actions that brings you excessive rag and dvesh, or where there is excessive jiv hinsa, should not be done because it leads to durgati. So that all falls under Nindit Karya Tyaga. Now 20th is Bharan Poshan, and Bharan Poshan is again very important, and it says that you have to take care of your dependents and all the dependents that whom you are responsible for. So this of course includes your first and foremost your parents, then all the servants that might be working in your house, then all the people you are employing. If you have business and you are employing people, so you should take care of them. And furthermore, all the animals, if you have animals in the house, then you should take care of them. So you should provide them food, water, medicines, or whatever is required. Furthermore, it says that if your dependent is poor, you should help them with educational expenses. If your dependent is addicted to drugs or smoking, it's your responsibility to bring them to a proper marg. Now in US, it's a proper custom that when parents grow old, they basically are sent to senior home living. Now in our Shastra, this is said it is very sad and both unacceptable. And so basically your parents, they need more and more support of your emotional support when they grow old. So so this also falls under Mata Pita Vandan and Mata Pita respect as well. So this all falls under taking care of your dependents. Now 21st gun is Dirgha Drashti. Dirgha Drashti means whatever steps you take in your life, the important steps, you have to visualize the consequences. So later you do not regret the action. So you should be judicious, you should think about what is right, what is wrong, what is your kartavya, what is akartavya, what is your physical and mental ability. And you should also think about the Dravya, Kshetra, Kar and Bhav, the four things, before you take any important decisions in your life. So in Shastra it is said that any actions that you take that is detrimental or ahitkar for yourself and for others should not be taken in your life. So this all falls under the Dirgha Drashtita. The 22nd gun is Dharma Shravan, and Dharma Shravan is one of the very important guns, and it says that one should do Swadhyay daily. So if you know, there are 6 Bahya Taps and 6 Abhyantar Taps, and the Swadhyay Tap is one of the Uttam Abhyantar Taps. So out of all the 12 types of tap, Swadhyay is considered as the best tap. So in our Shastra it is said that you should do one Samayik daily. That means you should do Swadhyay at least for 48 minutes. Now of course it's not possible for you to do 48 minutes daily for whatever reason, you might be very busy. But still it says that you have to do Swadhyay at least for 15 to 20 minutes a day. So in our Shastra, the Swadhyay are of 5 types. If you might know the Atichar Sutra, it's described there are 5 types of Swadhyay. These are Vachna, Puchna, Paravartana, Anupeksha and Dharmakatha. So Vachna, what is Vachna? Vachna is basically listening to the Vyakhyans or lectures of a Maharaj Sahib or any other teachers or Pandit. It's called Vachna. Or reading a Jain literature or scripture. It also falls under Vachna. Then second is Pruchna. So Pruchna means, after you have read or after you have listened to a lecture, you have questions or doubts in your mind. So asking the questions and doubts to your teachers, your Pathshala teachers or Guru Maharaj Sahib is known as Pruchna. And this also is type of Swadhyay. Asking questions is also a Swadhyay. Then third is Paravartan. Paravartan is basically memorizing or contemplating on what you have read or what you have listened to. And fourth is Anupreksha. Anupreksha is deep Chintan. Here you are trying to understand the deeper meaning of what you have read and what you have listened to. And this all falls under Swadhyay. The last is Dharmakatha. Dharmakatha is reading the stories of Mahapurush. So reading the stories or Jivan Charitra of say 24 Tirthankar Bhagwan or a Sadhu Maharaj Sahib or so on and so forth. This all falls under Swadhyay. So one should do Swadhyay at least for 15 to 20 minutes a day. And this is a very important gun of Marganasari Jivan. Then 23rd is Daya or compassion. Now this is again very important gun because it's a Lakshan of Samved Drashti Jiv. So most of you might know the 5 Lakshans of Samved Drashti Jiv. These are Upsham, Samved, Nirved, Anukampa and Astikya. So Upsham, you might know that it's a Mandata of Rag or Dvesh, very low Rag or Dvesh is called Upsham Bhav. Samved is Tivra Ichcha of achieving Moksha is known as Samved. Nirved is you feel this sansar is dukmay and you have a tivra ichcha or jhankna to leave this sansar and take diksha. That is known as Nirved. Astikya is Bhagwan ke vachan pe purna shraddha. That is Astikya, that you just believe कि भगवान की आज्ञा सही है. That is known as Astikya. And the last is Anukampa. So Anukampa is very important gun of Samved Drashti Jiv. It means that you have to take care of the less fortunate or dukhi jivs. So Anukampa, there is so many different ways you can do Anukampa, right? You can help or save a dying animal. You can give a food to a hungry. You can give water to thirsty. You can give clothes or money to poor. You can help with medical expenses of people and animals. You can also give someone a place to stay. You can give education to poor kids. You can give dharmic sanskar. This is very important. You can give dharmic sanskar to people who are not doing dharma aradhana. And you can also help people who are addicted with drugs and alcohol to bring them to proper mark, and so on and so forth. So this all falls under Anukampa, and it's very important gun of Samved Drashti Jiv that you do Anukampa in your life. Then next gun, 24th, is Buddhi. Buddhi is intellect. Now this is very important, and in Nandi Sutra, in one of our Shastra known as Nandi Sutra, that describes the 8 different ways of developing your intellect. Now this is very important because whenever you are reading a Jain scripture or doing dharma, this is the 8 things that you have to develop in your life as far as your intellect is concerned. So first is Sushusha. So what is Sushusha? Sushusha is basically a desire to learn something, right? So first thing, you have to have that jignasa or a desire to know something. So for example, a desire to know what is Atma, what are the virtues of Atma and so on and so forth. So you want to know something, that is desire. Then after desire comes Shravan. So once you have desire, you will try to do Shravan. Shravan means you read something or you listen to the lectures of Guru Maharaj Sahib with a full concentration without your mind wavering. So that is known as Shravan. Then after you have done Shravan, the third gun you have to develop is Grahan. Grahan is basically understanding and comprehending what you have read or what you have listened to. So that is the third step. The fourth step is dharana. Dharana is basically memorizing the important things that will help you throughout your life, and that is known as dharana. And fifth and sixth are very important. It is known as uha and apoh. So uha and apoh are logically thinking. That is not known as tarkabadh thinking in our Shastra. So for example, if you have listened to something and then you have to think in your mind about the positive examples why that is true, and you have to think even the negative examples that opposite to that is not true. So that is known as uha and apoh. Then last is artha vignan. So artha vignan is coming to a conclusion of the meaning of what you have read. And last is tattva gnan. Tattva gnan is only developed after you have done the first 7 steps, and tattva gnan is understanding the deeper rahasya or deeper meaning to what you have read. So these are the 8 steps that you should follow to understand our Jain Dharma better. So just let me give you an example. How does this work, right? So for example, you have a jignasa or desire to learn that what is Atma, right? So that is the first step. Then you read about what is Atma in the Jain scripture. You read that, okay, Atma is Akshay, Anant, Atma is so and so forth, Gun, Atma is Nitya, Atma is Anitya, so on and so forth. So you try to understand. So that is Grahan. Then you try to memorize those things. Then after that comes Uha and Apo. So now you logically think that why is Atma Nitya or why is Atma Anitya? So Atma is Nitya as per the Dravya, and Atma is Anitya as per the Paryaya, right? Its Paryaya is constantly changing. So these are the logical thinkings that you have to develop. And then after that you come to a conclusion of the meaning, and then you go into the deeper rahashyas of that meaning. So this is the 8 steps that you have to develop when you read any of our Jain scriptures. Okay, then the 25th gun is gun pakshpat. So gun pakshpat is basically saying that you have to respect, or you have to be biased, or you have to be partial towards the virtues, and you have to avoid all the vices or durguns or faults in your life. So that means you have to always support the people with virtues like daya, santosh, vinay, namrata, and so on and so forth. So always be on the side of the people with those guns. The 26th gun is duragra tyag. Now this is very important because what is duragra? So it is our human nature that whatever we speak or whatever we believe in, we believe that is true, and opposite to that is false, and that is known as duragra. So in our Shastra, it is said there are 4 types of rag. The first type of rag or attachment is towards the materialistic things, like you have got rag for money, or you have got rag for your house, and so on and so forth. The second type of rag is rag with your family members. That is called sneh rag, that you like your family members. The third type of rag is rag of your body, your own sharir, and that is very tivra rag. For example, if you have got a diseases or something, that you'll become upset or you'll become dukhi. So that is a third type of rag. But the fourth type of rag that Shastra says is a drashti rag, and drashti rag is the most dangerous type of rag. So what is drashti rag? Drashti rag is something that whatever you say or whatever you believe in, and you have got rag for that. So for example, if you say something and if your friends come back and disproves you wrong, then you will have hatred towards your friend. You will have dvesh for someone who have disproved you, and that is known as drashti rag. And drashti rag is very, very dangerous because it is basically ahankar or ego. So the duragra tyag, it says that you have to live your drashti rag. So basically you have to adopt satya. It is opposite to duragra is satyagraha. So duragra means whatever you think is right is duragra, and whatever is right is yours is satyagraha. So Shastra says that you have to leave your duragra and be open-minded and accept the truth. So that is very important gun of a Marganasari Jivan. Then the 27th gun of Marganasari Jivan is Jnanarjan. So what is Jnanarjan? So Jnanarjan is something we already discussed, but it says that you have to do Dharma Shravan. You have to basically acquire new knowledge daily. So not the old knowledge, but something you have to read that you have not read before. So always acquire the new knowledge. So always read some Jain scriptures or Jain book at least for 15-20 minutes a day where you acquire new knowledge, and that is known as Jnanarjan. Then 28th gun of Samyak Drashti Jeev is Seva Bhakti or Vaiyavach. So this is again a very important gun of a Markanasari Jivan, and the Shastra says that you have to do Sadharmik Bhakti and you have to do Vaiyavach. So what is Sadharmik Bhakti? Sadharmik Bhakti is basically taking care of your fellow Jains. So that is known as Sadharmik Bhakti. So helping your Jains in any way or possible is known as Sadharmik Bhakti. Now important thing to remember is this Sadharmik Bhakti does not fall under Dan, right? There is a various different types of Dan. Here it says Bhakti. That means you are helping your fellow Jain members with a Bhakti Bhav, and that is known as Sadharmik Bhakti. And the second things that fall under Seva Bhakti is Vaiyavach. Vaiyavach is taking care of a Sadhu Maharaj Sahib. It's known as Vaiyavach. So Vaiyavach in our Shastra is known as Apratipati Gun. So there are two types of gun. There is a Pratipati Gun and there is a Apratipati Gun. So what is a Apratipati Gun? So Apratipati Gun is a gun that once you acquire that gun, it will come to you all the way to moksha. So a gun that is not destroyed bhav after bhav is known as Apratipati Gun. So out of all the guns, the Vaiyavach is the only gun that is Apratipati Gun. So if you help a Sadhu Maharaj Sahib, that will lead you to moksha. So in our Shastra, it is said that there are 6 types of people that deserve our Vaiyavach, or 6 types of Sadhu Maharaj Sahib that deserve our Vaiyavach. The first is Acharya Maharaj Sahib, second is Upadhyay, the third is the newly Dikshit, the person who has taken Diksha, a newly Dikshit Sadhu Maharaj Sahib. Then fourth is Glan. Glan is a sick or ailing Sadhu Maharaj Sahib. The fifth is Tapashvi. All the Sadhu Maharaj Sahib who has done a long tapasya, they require or they are worthy of our Vaiyavach. And the last is Sthavir. Sthavir is one that who is residing at one place because of old age or because of illness. So these are the 6 types of Sadhu Maharaj Sahib that deserve or are worthy of our Vaiyavach, and we should do that Vaiyavach. So there are various different ways you can do Vaiyavach. The first is, of course, you can give Gochri, right? That is the most simple way of doing a Vaiyavach. The second thing you can do is you can help with them for whatever things they need. For example, they might need books to read, or they might need a pen, or they might need some clothes, and so on and so forth. Then furthermore, you can help Sadhu Maharaj Sahib with medicines. The fourth way you can do Vaiyavach is you can help with the construction of upashrayas, or you can help with the constructions of Vihar Dham, where Sadhu Maharaj Sahib stays there for Chaturmas. And the next possible way you can do Vaiyavach is you can accompany them in Vihar. Now this is very important. In India, lots of people have started doing that, and especially for Sadhvi Maharaj Sahib, right? When Sadhvi Maharaj Sahib is doing Vihar from one city to another city, it's very, very difficult for Sadhvi Maharaj Sahib. And there are lots of issues that Sadhvi Maharaj Sahib faces when they are doing Vihar. So if you accompany a Sadhvi Maharaj Sahib and help them reach from one place to another place, that's a best type of Vaiyavach you can do for Sadhu and Sadhvi Maharaj Sahib. So these are the different ways you should do Vaiyavach, and you should do Seva Bhakti of both Sadharmik and of Sadhu Maharaj Sahib. Then the 29th gun of a Marganasari Jivan is Trivarg Sandhan. So what is Trivarg Sandhan? So it says that you should balance your life. So here there are 3 things that you do daily in your life, and that is earth and Kam and Dharma. So these are the 3 things that you do daily in your life. So in the Shastra it is said that you should divide your day into three sections. So one is for earth, one is for Kam, and one is for Dharma Aradhana. So of course in Shastra it is said that you should give 8 hours each for everything. So 8 hours for earth, that is earning money or doing household activities, 8 hours for sleeping or some other things, and 8 hours for Dharma Aradhana. So 8 hours for Dharma Aradhana includes all the 6 Avashyak Kriyas. I don't know if you know all the 6 essential kriyas, but you might have heard in Pratikaman that there are 6 avashyak kriyas, and the 6 avashyak kriyas are of course the morning and evening Pratikaman, one samayik, then Guru Vandan, Dev Vandan, that is Dravya, like Chaitya Vandan, Dravya or Bhav Puja of Tirthankar Paramatma is Dev Vandan, then Guru Vandan, and then Pachkan and Kausar. So these are the 6 avashyak kriyas that you should do daily. And avashyak kriyas means mandatory kriyas. If you do not do avashyak kriyas, then it is known as atichar. So you should spend at least, it says 8 hours in dharma aradhana. Of course, in our life 8 hours is very, very difficult, but my suggestion will be at least try to spend a couple of hours a day in dharma aradhana, and that should be also be pretty good. So you should basically balance your life, and you have to allocate your time for doing dharma aradhana, and you should allocate your life for both earth and kam. Then the next gun of Manganasari Jivan is Desh Kal Ka Gnyan. That means you have to you have to understand that the place and time, the both. Now both are very, very important. So if you think about the time, right? In our Shastra it is said that you should not eat after sunset, you should not take bath after sunset, you should not go out very, very late at night, especially after midnight without any reasons. You should not sleep in the morning. So everything has a time and place. Even if you think about place, it says that place influences you in a positive and negative ways. So for example, you should not go to the places like slaughterhouses, right? You should not go to the places like restaurants where they are purely serving meat, like barbecue place or seafood where they are only serving meat. Then you should not go to the place where there is lots of drugs or so on and so forth is going on, or prostitution is going on. So those are types of places you should avoid in your life. And opposite to that, you should go to the places where it positively affects you. Like you should go to Derasar, or you should go help do some paropkar activities, and so on and so forth. So everything has place and time, and you should always try to keep that in mind. Then the next gun of Manganasari Jivan is Balabal Vichar. So what is Balabal Vichar? It says that whatever endeavor you start in your life, you should think about your ability to do it. That means you should have your mental and physical ability to do that endeavor. However good the endeavor may be, however advantageous it may be, but if you do not have the ability to carry out, then you will be unsuccessful. And this applies both to your Sansaric Jivan and for your Dharma Aradhana. So for example, if you are starting a new business, right, you have to always think about your physical and mental ability that you will be able to successfully carry out the business before you start the business. And even for Dharma Aradhana, before taking any vrat, or before taking any niyam, or before taking any big tapasya, you should always think in your mind whether you will be able to do it or not. So everywhere you have to think about your mental and physical ability. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can stop and you can ask me, or we can open for discussions after all the 35 guns. The next gun of Manganasari Jivan is Lok Yatra. So what is Lok Yatra? Lok Yatra is basically doing the social activity work for the welfare of society. So that is known as Lok Yatra. So always try to do something good for your community or something good for your society, and do all types of volunteer works and volunteer activities that is good for the people. So that is what is known as Lok Yatra. Then the next is Paropkar Pravinta. So we already talked about this, that you have to always help the less fortunate people. Now the 34th gun is very, very important. It is known as Lajja. Lajja is basically a sense of shame, and this is again one of the guns of our Indian culture, of our Arya Sanskriti. So it says that you should have a sense of shame for any anuchit karyas. So what is Lajja? Lajja means a sense of shame. It is basically a dignity or a modesty. So for example, if you have Lajja, if you have a sense of shame, then you will wear appropriate clothes. You will not wear transparent clothes, or you will not wear clothes that are too short. If you have lajja, then you will abstain for any sexual relationship with anyone apart from your spouse. If you have lajja, you will think before you speak. You will not speak any bad words, especially to elders. If you have lajja, you will not be involved in unnecessary fights. So always have a sense of shame in your life when doing some anuchit karyas. And opposite to that, you should not have lajja when you are doing uchit karyas. So you should not have lajja when you are confessing of all the pap karmas to a Guru Maharaj Sahib. When you are taking alochna, you should talk freely. You should not have lajja at that point. You should not have lajja when going to Derasar. You should not have lajja when doing Vayavach. You should not have lajja when you are doing paropkar activities. So only have lajja when you are doing anuchit karyas, and opposite to that, you should not have lajja when you are doing uchit karyas. So that was the 34th gun of Marganasari Jivan, and the last gun of Marganasari Jivan is Saumyata. So what is Saumyata? Saumyata says that you have to be a Sant Swabhav. That means you should not be upset, or you should not be influenced by external circumstances. So in our Shastra, there is it says Ghatna se aprabhavit. So that means you should not be dukhi or dim by whatever happens externally. So for this, you have to stop seeing the dosh in others, bad things in others, and you have to always see the guns and virtues in others. So here you have to remember that whatever bad happens in your life is because of your own karma. So for example, during the uday of asata vednya karma, if something bad happens to your body, then you have to be sant, and you have to accept that you have to basically swikarya hona chahiye. So basically it's all because of your bad karma. And if someone is saying bad to you, again you have to develop the madhyastha bhav and upeksha bhav, and you have to think that someone is speaking bad of you because again it's because of your bad karma. So basically it says that you have to be shant, gambhir and prasanna in your life. So that was the 35th gun of Marganasari Jivan. So that completes all the 35 guns of Marganasari Jivan. So now if you have any questions, you can ask the questions. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. So is there any kid who wants to say that out of all the 35 guns, which gun they really like and would love to implement in their life? Can someone? We can probably select one random kid. I think Jay is. I don't see him. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. Mehak. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And the thing you have to remember about compassion or daya is one of the important lactions of Samriddhashti Jiv. So the right faith comes with daya. I think Mehak is saying she is unable to unmute, so I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, okay. Simran, yeah, right, right, and that is very very important. Sometimes we tend to neglect that. The eight virtues of your intellect. We just think that okay, whatever we read, we are good with it. But unless you really comprehend, unless you try to sit quietly and try to do chintan, anupreksha, and think deeply about it with positive and negative examples, you're not really understanding the meaning. So it's very very important to go through all the 8 steps of learning. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Chiniben, and thank you all the students. Hopefully, you follow some of these virtues in your life. Okay. Thank you.